Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, success in trading always seems just out of reach? Maybe you stick to your plan, work hard, and make progress, only to sabotage yourself with impulsive decisions or stubborn mistakes. Here's the thing, it might not be your strategy or your discipline that's holding you back. It could be something much deeper, something you might not even realize. In today's episode, I'm diving into the hidden barrier that stops so many traders from breaking through. If you are tired of being stuck, this could be the shift you've been waiting for. Let's dive in. You are listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. I am your host, Agnieszka Wood, a trading mindset coach and a seasoned day trader with over a decade of experience. If you are new to my show, don't forget to subscribe so you can come back for the next episode. In this podcast, we explore the fascinating world of psychology and the human element of trading. We take a deep dive into different perspectives to inspire you and help you navigate the emotional ups and downs of trading with self-compassion and confidence. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro, this podcast is your trusted companion providing support on your trading journey. Get ready to boost your confidence and unlock the secrets to mastering your mindset for success. Welcome to episode number 45, From Perfectionism to Progress. Today, I want to talk about something much more fundamental to trading success than discipline, patience, and even consistency. Something that is at the root of all success. And if you are not aware of it, you might never achieve sustained progress and definitely not a breakthrough. This is something that played out on a deeper level in my trading journey and completely surprised me. I want to talk about deserving success. Before I started working as a coach, I had no idea how many people don't allow themselves to be successful because they simply don't believe they deserve to be. So they limit themselves. Even if they progress to some extent by working hard, just like I did, they eventually do something against their own interests and go back to square one. And that's what I kept doing in my life over and over again. And when I finally hit the rock bottom in my trading after 2 years of being stuck in fading cycle and, sometimes for 30 days doing well. And then on the last day, I would simply lose everything I made that month. I was forced to look deeper within myself. And I realized that my whole life, I was struggling with a fear of rejection. I never believed that I was good enough to be loved. That longing for love turned me into a perfectionist, and I fought my whole life to achieve things as though my life depended on it. But it was never good enough for me. I didn't even feel the pleasure of achieving things because it was never good enough. It always could have been better. And I had this constant feeling that there was something wrong with me, that I needed to work harder and be better. And you might wonder what this deepest fear of being rejected has to do with trading. And I can tell you, it has everything to do with it. In trading, we are always faced with uncertainty. We always wonder whether our decisions are right or wrong. And when you fear being rejected, you cannot be wrong. You have to do everything right. But because you believe you are never good enough, you can never do things right enough. I know it sounds a little crazy, right? But that's how the self belief operates on a deeper level. The fear of rejection was constantly triggered, and I reacted to it by trying to prove to myself that I could do it no matter what. I fought the market, tried harder, became stubborn, completely losing myself in the process. And the more I tried to control things, because, control is very important when you feel you have to be perfect, the more I was out of control. Let me share a story about a trader I coached. Let's call him Mark. Mark was a highly analytical person and he had a solid strategy. He understood the market and the dynamics of the market. and even had a really good handle on risk management. But still, he couldn't break out of the cycle of inconsistency. Whenever he started to make progress, he would do something that set him back, taking an impulsive trade outside his plan, or hold on to a losing trade for too long, or simply just completely abandoning his strategy when it was working. He couldn't figure out why he kept sabotaging himself. And when we dug deeper into his behavior during our coaching sessions, Mark shared something about his childhood that he hadn't connected to his trading struggles before. He had an older brother who was often in trouble, skipping school, getting into fights, disobeying their parents. Mark's parents gave his brother a lot of grief, constantly yelling at him and punishing him. Eventually, when his brother was a teenager, his parents kicked him out of the house. And Mark grew up watching all of this unfold, and it left a deep mark on him. He learned early on that his parents' love felt conditional, based on behavior. So he decided he would be the opposite of his brother. He would be perfect. He worked hard to get his good grades, followed the rules, and stayed out of trouble because he believed it was the only way to avoid his parents' anger and rejection. And as an adult, Mark carried this belief into trading. Deep down, he felt that mistakes weren't just bad, they were catastrophic. In his mind, being wrong, losing a trade, or making a mistake meant he wasn't good enough. And that fear of rejection, of losing love or approval, just like his brother, was always lurking in the background. Through our work together, Mark started to see this pattern for what it was, an old story he was still telling himself, even though it no longer served him. He realized that his fear of mistakes and rejection was holding him back, not helping him move forward. One breakthrough moment for Mark came when he decided to redefine what success meant for him. Instead of trying to be perfect, he focused on progress and following his trading plan. He even started a journal where he wrote about his mistakes, not to beat himself up, but to learn from them. Over time, Mark began to trust himself more. He stopped tying his self worth to his trading results and started treating himself with the same understanding he wished his parents had shown his brother. Today, Mark is trading consistently, not because he became perfect, but because he allowed himself to not be perfect. He finally let go of the fear that making mistakes would cost him everything. Mark's story is a powerful reminder of how our deepest fears and beliefs can shape our actions, even in ways we don't realize. When you start connecting the dots, this new world opens up and you can see why things are in your way. And then it's much easier to disconnect from those old patterns that are not serving you anymore. When you think you are not good enough and you don't believe you deserve the good things in life, unless you're perfect, you won't allow good things to come to you. Even when things are working out, you will sabotage yourself, whether it's by taking too much risk or being stubborn and jeopardize everything you've built. So the big question is, do you believe you deserve success? Do you feel you deserve the life you aspire to? If you want to achieve progress and you are stuck in your trading, you really have to ask yourself this question. Do you believe you are good enough to be in the top 5% of traders? Because I know you are, but that won't move the needle. If you have this deep subconscious belief, you simply won't let yourself move forward. And the way to know if you believe you deserve success is by looking at your life. Are you taking care of yourself well? Are you granting yourself the permission to be yourself? Are you constantly trying to please others? Do you feel like there's something wrong with you, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Maybe it feels like there's always something in the way before you can move forward, always something else you need to do first before you can allow yourself to progress. Many times it feels like everyone else seems to have it all figured out, but you don't, and you don't know why. Many traders I talk to tell me that they have never treated themselves to something just for themselves. Even if they have the money, they don't spend it on themselves, whether it's for self development or simple pleasures. They simply don't feel they can, that they deserve. For others, no problem. But for themselves, they don't feel they are worth it. But I'm telling you, you are worth it. And you better start to believe it, because if you don't, it will show up in your trading. You will cut your winning trades short. You will question yourself constantly when you make mistakes. You will avoid mistakes altogether because the perfectionist in you tells you that you cannot make mistakes. You will avoid them at all costs because the price of facing the pain of rejection is simply too high. And from my own experience, if you believe you are not worth it and struggle with fear of rejection, the trading journey will be a tough ride. And your life won't feel like a vacation either. This constant pursuit of external validation, driven by the need of acceptance and love, is exhausting. Striving for perfection and avoiding mistakes keeps you running in a hamster wheel, completely forgetting to enjoy the journey. But here's the thing: life without mistakes is counterproductive to success. We learn through mistakes. That's how success is achieved. Avoiding mistakes traps you in a cycle of failure. So I hope you now see how the fear of rejection and the belief that you are not worthy of love, of success, that you are not good enough, stand in your way. And to start overcoming these limiting beliefs, begin by building awareness. That is a very important first step to any type of transformation, any type of shift. Simply reflect on your behaviors and ask yourself, am I sabotaging my progress because I don't believe I deserve success? Because I feel I'm not good enough? Am I holding myself back because I'm telling myself some old stories about what happened 30, maybe sometimes even 40 years ago, and I'm still holding on to it? One of the very powerful tools, which I always recommend, is journaling. Write about your mistakes, and not to criticize yourself, but to learn and grow and spot the patterns. And focus on progress, because it's not about perfection. Perfection doesn't exist, whether it's life or trading, it doesn't exist. Celebrate small wins. And when you are a perfectionist, small win might be actually not even noticeable, but just very simple things, whether it was just following your plan or maybe even showing up to trading after a preparation, or maybe finishing your trading in time when you planned it to. Instead of looking at the outcomes of your trades, remember that if you are perfectionist and if you are thinking it's never good enough, that you are not good enough, the outcome really doesn't matter, because no matter how good outcome you will have, you will try to have better outcome. And sometimes that can lead to overtrading and simply pushing yourself too hard. So practice self-acceptance. Accept where you are, the moment where you are at that time now here in your trading. And just realize that mistakes are a natural part of this journey. They do not say anything about your worth. And treat yourself with the same kindness you would treat a close friend, whether that means taking time for your self care or maybe investing in your development and well being. Sometimes doing something like that, that is out of the ordinary for you, can be the breakthrough in itself. Or simply just acknowledge that you are worthy of success as you are, not just when you achieve it. And that will help you to relax a little bit and not push too hard, not drive yourself completely crazy and getting burnout and having constantly that feeling of, I still have to do this and I still have to do this before I can be happy, before I can relax. And if I achieve this, then that feeling, that urge. Remember that true success begins with believing you deserve it, stepping into the shoes of already being successful and feeling like you are welcoming the life that you want to have. You deserve it because of who you are as a person, not because of your achievements, but because you are inherently worthy as a person. When you embrace self acceptance and self love, you allow yourself to act in your best interest, no matter the circumstances. When you stop trying to please others and you will trust yourself, that's when you can learn from your mistakes and move forward with clarity, confidence, and joy. Thank you for listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. If you are enjoying my show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and tell me what you like about it. Thanks to you, more traders will be able to find me, and together we'll make a bigger impact. So thank you so much. If you are new to my show, don't forget to subscribe so you can come back for the next episode. And make sure to also check some of the previous shows. Thank you again for tuning in. This is Agnieszka Wood from Ahead Coach. Bye for now.